Okay, Saturday, 4th of October 2025. So, Adrian's daily vlog, sharing smart stuff men should know. Information decay. Now, in finance, there's a very nice, interesting term called the Rule of 72, which talks about how long it takes for your money to double. You take the interest, you take 72 divided by the interest, and that will tell you in years how long it takes to double your money. And so, similar, we can reverse engineer that to say how long something will take to get cut in half. And that's what's called the half-life. Ultimately, something going to zero. Never truly absolute zero because of different reasons, technicalities and physics, whatever else. And I was realizing that you reconcile that thought with entropy as a law of physics, meaning everything breaks down, everything rots, everything deteriorates. Clothes, books, things, everything. I did a video a year or something ago talking about how everything will be a landfill site one day and things decay, agents of entropy. Now we can go deeper to the say in the abstract world, information decays. Ideas today, standards, practices, values, concepts, industries, techniques, patents, you name it. Things today that will be taken for granted in the future, 5, 15 years, 15, 30 plus years, will be, well, over time, increasingly obsolete, redundant, old, outdated, old-fashioned, not needed, irrelevant, you name it. So we can say the ideas we understand today with regards to business or SEO or technology or society and culture, whatever else, you name it, will essentially be obsolete. You could even say the things you learned at university 10 or so years ago, how much of that today is still relevant, is still accurate. Not necessarily because the ideas are so old and redundant, but because new ideas, new technology, new techniques, new pipelines, methodologies have replaced it and are better, faster, easier, more streamlined, you name it, other buzzwords like that. So then, when we realise that what we know today, in 15 years from now, 70% of it will be redundant, obsolete. 30 years from now, 90%. In the same way, you could say having the same business ideas in terms of business structure as in 1995 is totally redundant today. Just how in 1965 it would have been redundant in 1995. Wow. Interesting. And we can project that into the future. So the mission is on us to keep learning, keep growing, to get wiser, faster, smarter, stronger here. And to keep learning. I did some videos about this. Always keep learning. Learn, learn, learn. Study, study, study. Fundamental, powerful, very, very important. Because over time things are going to happen. The technologies we will be taking for granted in 30 years from now will be completely different from today. The technologies, just how in 1995 versus today, 1965 versus today. Therefore, we need to keep learning. And I mean everything. You could argue indiscriminately. Psychology, anthropology, sociology, philosophy, technology, all kinds of things. You name it. Dragnet. We need to learn a little bit about everything to be wise and socially calibrated, and therefore we can apply it in some ways, innovation, reverse engineering, for example, apply it into businesses, ideas, technologies, you name it, to be innovative and cutting edge. Very important. And that kind of goes into the Peter principle, where the beautiful thing is that if you're learning at such a rate, you're learning faster than you're forgetting, so to speak, or learning faster than things are becoming redundant. What happens over time is that you naturally grow, you naturally get better. So in one very interesting, deep way, you never truly reach your full potential. Not in a bad way, but in a sense of you keep expanding your possibilities, your limits, what you're capable of. You just keep getting smarter and smarter. You're learning more than ideas becoming expired or redundant. Wow. And if you're stagnant for too long, your current ideas or skill set will become increasingly stagnant. We could say at a deeper level, this is epistemic lag, where you're growing at this rate here, but the society or the standard or the benchmark or where you should be or where you ought to be or where you desire or want to be is here. And if you're not able to catch up that difference with knowledge, technology, ideas, you name it, that gap gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and that risks being inaccurate, making mistakes, inefficiencies. All these inefficiencies compound, and critical error, or even simply you don't achieve your goals on time. It takes you 5 years rather than 2 years, for example. And we don't want that as critical, because you could say that every moment counts, every minute, every second counts, everything we learn, everything we do has an opportunity cost. That time can't be spent again. So we have to be very, very critical and careful with everything we do. Is it pushing us forward at a deeper meta level to say, is this new information we're learning pushing us forward to combat information entropy, so tomorrow I am smarter than today? And that's why when I look at these books I have to read, I don't see an obstacle per se, or these chapters to go through. I don't see an obstacle. I see potential. I see a field. I see a field that's ready to be harvested, so to speak, ready to be planting crops, let's say. I see this pile of books, and I don't look at the challenge. I think the person I will be at the end of this, once I go through all these, will be a lot smarter than now. What will be difficult for me today will be easy for me once I've gone through these books. And once I've gone through all these chat logs, what will be outlandish and difficult and mind-blowing, let's say, for me right now, will be, taken for granted. Normal, standard, of course. Obvious for that person in the future. And through that methodology and that reframing of this mountain of knowledge, the Peter Principle is never truly achieved, because you're constantly expanding the possibilities. Therefore, you could say, I'm in line with that benchmark, epistemic lag, and or exceeding it. I'm excelling where the expectations or the technology is here. I'm ahead of the curve. That's powerful. Very powerful. And then you can do things that would take 5 years. You could do it in, say, 5 months. Things like that, really efficient, fast, on point, things like that. When you stay ahead of the curve. Staying ahead of the curve, always relevant, never redundant, never ignored, always important. Wow. And then you can go deeper to say you become the demon. I did a video about this as well, where you know so much about reality in the world and people and places and laws of physics and laws of whatever, you can effectively and practically, mechanically predict the future. Wow. That's very, very powerful. That's so powerful. It's godlike. Wow, powerful stuff. But otherwise, Adrian's daily vlog, sharing smart stuff men should know. Subscribe for more, and you will see me tomorrow.